More on politics. The Action Democratic Party ADP has flagged off its mega rally in Ilesha, Osun State, ahead of the September the 22nd governorship elections, promising the people of Osun State that its governorship candidate, Moshood Adeoti, will liberate the state from what he calls unfriendly policies if elected as governor.
The Action Democratic Party ADP rolls out the drums, holding Ilesha town spellbound for the flag-off of its governorship campaign ahead of the September the 22nd election. Party loyalists trooped out in large numbers and defied the heavy rains to rally support for the party's flag bearer, Moshood Adeoti. The party obviously has a clear message for its teeming supporters and the electorate in Osun State, which is the plan to enthrone an all-inclusive government, as well as better welfare for workers and pensioners.
In Osun State, we are a proud set of people. We are not beggars. We've never begged on any event. We have pride as a people.
Then the presentation of the party's flag to its governorship candidate, Moshood Adeoti, and his running mate, Professor Adeola Durotue. Adeoti promises to ensure the introduction and implementation of policies that will have meaningful and direct impact on the lives of the people if elected governor of the state.
We are promising them good government. Civil servants they've been suffering for a while, and we are promising them that starting from December this year, we are going to be giving them their full salary. That's what they deserve, and we are going to make you that promise. In addition to that, the backlog of salary arrears that we are holding, we are going to make everything finally possible.
The Action Democratic Party's choice of Ilesha for its campaign flag-off is symbolic. It is also the hometown of the incumbent governor, Rauf Aregbesola. The party believes that the turnout in Ilesha will go a long way to prove its popularity as the campaign train moves to other parts of the state.
In the meantime, the governor of Ekiti State, Mr. Ayodele Fayose, has broken his long silence in recent times by opening up on why he is no longer interested in running for the seat of the president in 2019. The outgoing governor spoke in Ado-Ekiti when he received the presidential aspirant of the People's Democratic Party, Ibrahim Kwankwaso, who was in the state to seek the support of Ekiti delegates. The governor says that he cannot abandon his loyal deputy, whose mandate was allegedly stolen, and be pursuing another ambition. He says that he's committed to the recovery of the mandate. Mr. Fayose declared his ambition to run for the office of president in September 2017, vowing to defeat the incumbent in a free and fair election. Away from politics now. Every year, cholera outbreaks are reported in most states in Nigeria, and 2018 has proven to be no different. Going by figures from the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, the NCDC, 14,310 suspected cases, with 389 of the cases confirmed in the laboratory, and 236 deaths were recorded between weeks 1 and 33 of 2018. These figures are way above the 1,092 suspected cases and 30 deaths recorded in the same period in 2017. Precisely in the 33rd week of 2018, Katsina State recorded 171 cholera cases, Zamfara 166, Borno 11, Yobe 6, and Kaduna 2 cases. Owing to the increased number of cases, a National Emergency Operations Center for Cholera has been activated at level 2 at the NCDC, with rapid response teams deployed to respond to recent cluster cases in Kano, Bauchi, Plateau, Zamfara, and Adamawa states. Well, let's go back to Abuja once more, from where I'm being joined by the Chief Executive Officer of the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, Dr. Chikwe Ihekweazu. He examines this issue further. I want to thank you so much indeed for coming on the News at 10. Let's begin with some of the latest reported cases in Charanchi local government area of Katsina State, as well as some local government areas in Borno State. What can you tell us about the situation at hand now? Those places, how well are they faring?
So, thank you, Dimba. You know, whenever there's an outbreak of cholera, we have been supporting the state governments in responding to this, in providing them treatment commodities, treatment centers, in working with the state governments, working with WHO as in some of the states, providing them commodities and jingles and education materials to inform people on what to do. And like your report said, we do this every year. We support the states in responding. Now, critically, what we need to do is prevent cholera better. Cholera is not a disease that we should be having in Nigeria in 2018. And the primary cause for this is really around providing water, sanitation, and hygiene for our people. And this is primarily a responsibility of state governments and local governments, and we're working with them and encouraging them to do more to ensure that people have decent water to drink. You know, what happens during these periods of the year is really a seasonal thing. The rains come in states and local governments where we have a lot of open defecation and defecation by the sides of streams. The rains come, they pour this excreta into the streams. Down the line, people start drinking the same water and end up getting cholera and then reinfecting the same water sources. And it's almost a spiral effect, a cyclical effect, and these cases keep happening. So while we respond and support the states, cities, and local government with cases as much as we possibly can across many states, we're really urging our partners and leaders at the state level to really re-elevate and come together, pull together with communities and re-elevate the provision of clean water to people in all the affected states. If not, we will be in the same situation next year. NCDC will come, we'll support the states as much as we can, but we can't prevent cholera if we don't get more engagement by people at the local government and state levels to join us in this campaign to eliminate cholera in Nigeria.
You know, you're very right about that because we're in the thick of the rainy season now. But I'm curious, your center, the Center for Disease Control, the NCDC, is advocating the strengthening of risk communication strategies. You want to mitigate predictable diseases, we understand, and outbreaks in Nigeria. But what does this entail for you?
So what we do here, we develop clear messages, we develop flyers and jingles, and we support the states with this. Sometimes we can translate it to some languages, but we can't do it for all the languages. So we encourage the states to do the same. So we really provide states a lot of the materials to then share to schools, share to churches, mosques, play on their radio stations to educate people on what causes cholera. Because the cause is very simple. If you drink water that is contaminated, food that is cooked with contaminated water, the chances of your getting cholera is very high. So there's a cycle that happens. So we try and educate mothers, also educate them to detect the signs of cholera early so they can provide or take their children for treatment, because it's really a dangerous disease. You know, it starts in a way that you think it's, okay, normal watery diarrhea. But it can kill very rapidly, especially for children. So we educate them on the signs and symptoms of cholera and what to look out for, how quickly to take their children to a health center. But critically, we educate them on prevention and all of that. So we're really trying to raise the awareness of cholera in Nigeria. This is really not a disease we should be having in Nigeria. But it's a complex situation because it's linked to poverty, it's linked to socioeconomic conditions, access to education. So we're really asking everyone to join us on this. It's not something the center can do on its own. We really need the support of all Nigerians, our different governance structures, schools, churches, mosques, to come together and encourage people to do what they can, but also encourage government at the local and state levels to do what they need to do in reactivating municipal water supplies in states and local governments in Nigeria.
Well, I must thank you so much indeed, Dr. Chikwe Ihikweazu, the Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian Center for Disease Control. Thank you so much indeed for sharing your thoughts with us here on the News at 10. Let's quickly shift gears now, shall we, to business news with Kaide Okikiolu.
Thank you, Gimba. You're welcome to Business News. Ahead of the official release of Nigeria's August inflation numbers by the National Bureau of Statistics next week, economic analysts have been given divergent projections. The International Monetary Fund, in the report of its staff mission to Nigeria in July, projected that inflation will begin to rise in the second half of 2018 due to higher spending and supply constraints in the agriculture sector. Similarly, an analyst at financial derivatives company expect that headline inflation will inch up to 11.5% and bring to an end the 18-month constant deflation. On the other hand, analysts at the research arm of investment bank FSDH expect the inflation rates to remain unchanged from July at 11.14%. The National Bureau of Statistics is expected to release the inflation figures for the month of August on September the 14th. The federal government has reiterated its commitment to supporting Nigerian traders at the bottom of the pyramid. This comes on the heels of criticisms trailing the 6th sensitization event of its social investment program, Trader Money, held recently in Osun State, suggesting that the federal government is pursuing the program for political advantage. A statement from the BOI explains that Trader Money is a key part of the Government Enterprise and Empowerment Program, JEEP, which was launched on May the 17th, 2016. On the other hand, JEEP Trader Money, which commenced in May 2018, is targeted at petty traders. The social intervention program, which is being executed by the BOI, has been providing interest-free loans to traders and artisans across the 36 states of the Federation, including the FCT Abuja, over the last 2 years. And elsewhere, the Central Bank of Nigeria has released the regulatory framework for non-bank acquiring in Nigeria. The CBN, in a statement, says the objectives of the document are to establish non-bank acquiring as a regulated service, as well as provide minimum standards and requirements for operations of non-bank acquiring in Nigeria. According to the draft, non-bank acquirers must have a process to ensure adequate merchant agreements are effected. The CBN, however, notes that it will terminate a non-bank acquirer's license if the participants fail to meet the conditions for renewal of the operating license, inability to maintain a relationship with at least 2 card associations, and any other reason that may be determined by the regulator. And that's a wrap on Business News for tonight. Many thanks for watching. I am Kayode Okikiolu.